Man, what's going on, everybody? Man, it's your boy B.
It's your boy Official Go Getter.
Man, and we have a very, very special 19th episode of the Blueprint Table podcast. As you can see, we have an amazing guest with us here today. So I want y'all to give it up, man, for our guy, Ahmad Tamimi, man. Clap it up, clap it up.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah.
Man, hey, there's a version of discipline that comes from motivation, y'all. And there's a version that comes from survival. When you grow up knowing that nothing is guaranteed, discipline isn't something that you hype yourself into. It's something that you have to live by. So today's episode is today's episode is what it actually costs to leave your home and rebuild, how discipline forms when failure isn't an option, and why having high standards can sometimes make you misunderstood. So, Ahmad, I want to start from the beginning, man, because first, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the podcast and speaking with us. But first, I want to actually just start from the beginning, man. If you could first let us know who you are, what is your profession, and what do you do, and then we'll take it all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me over, guys. I appreciate it.
Yep.
My name is Ahmad Tamimi. I'm 25 years old. I work as a software engineer at Meta. I was born and raised in Palestine. And then I moved here when I was 17 years old, all by myself, and I had to build myself up. And I moved to Seattle around a year ago, and yeah, it's been it.
Man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So before we actually even get all the way into it, man, you've been in Seattle for about a year, man. How do you like Seattle?
I actually really like it.
You do?
I actually really like it. I was in a suburb before in Delaware, which it had its own thing. Like there was a sense of community, but there's not that many people, if I'm being honest. But in Seattle, I found more like-minded people, people who actually have goals, have aspirations, and they have things in their head they want to do. And it's honestly been such a great time because I'm just motivated by the friends that I have and by the people that I meet. So no, it's been a great time.
That's
It's been a
absolutely
great
that's beautiful.
That's dope
beautiful
to hear. So did you get here by, was it work that brought you?
Yeah. So like I moved to Seattle for my work at Meta.
Okay.
And at first I was like afraid because I was like, I don't know, like I haven't met I don't know anyone here. I don't have any friends. How's that gonna work? And it's crazy. Like I was like, I wrote down some goals of things I want to do within my first week. And the first thing I said was, I want to play a soccer game within a week of being here. And so I just went to Cal Anderson. I just saw people playing a pickup game. I'm like, you know what? Why not? And that's just how I met all of my friends now.
Yeah.
So no, it's been a good time.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. We're gonna have to get into it. He already just dropped some gems, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie to you about what you can do because it's so funny, man. People talk about the Seattle Freeze all the time, and I'm one. I'm a talkative person. That's why we're on the podcast right now because we like to talk and share with people. But seriously, yes, there are certain cities that I feel like generally people are more open or more closed off. But if you're a person who's not afraid to just walk up to somebody and talk, one of our first episodes we did was shaking that off. Remember we were talking about networking? Sometimes you just got to look yourself in the mirror, put down some goals and say, hey, listen, I'm just going to talk to somebody that seems to be interested in something that I'm interested in. Yeah. And usually you can find some friends that way.
Sure. And, back to the Seattle Freeze thing, we hear that a lot. But even me personally, I took myself to the city of Seattle to build the network that I have now. So back to just saying that, it's very much possible, right? If you're somebody who's in the city of Seattle, you hear the Seattle Freeze all the time, there's like-minded people out here. Ahmed just said that he found some like-minded people. I found some like-minded people. B found some like-minded people, and he's not even from here. So it's definitely here.
Correct. So now let's take it back before we get into everything mindset wise. Tell us about your upbringing. You said you came to the United States at the age of 17 years old.
Yes, sir.
So could you explain to us your view of Palestine and like growing up in Palestine and how it was for you? Was it nice? Just give us a small synopsis. I know it's hard to give us everything.
Yeah. No, for sure. I will say one thing that my parents instilled in me ever since I was young is the importance of education and bettering yourself. My parents sacrificed a lot. They sacrificed a lot so they can put me in the best schools in Palestine so I can have a fair chance and a fair shot at life. I will say it's hard being there. Like you have electricity maybe for like 8 hours a day. Water, like for many people that I know, They get water maybe once a month for like a 2-hour period, and they have to fill up their tank. And if they don't, then they just don't have water. So it builds a certain level of not just discipline, but also like faith. Like for us, we don't have much to be thankful for, but we're still thankful that we have things, because we know people who are even in way worse situations.
Yeah.
So this like just empowers your mind to be like, you know what? Just be thankful for what you have and keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Do not give up. Things will get better, but you gotta put the work in.
Yeah.
Things can't just get better out of nowhere. You just gotta put the work in. And so ever since I was young, I was just pretty much taught to do like to work really hard and to like have grit and pretty much just never give up. To convince yourself that you gotta keep pushing, gotta keep pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, can I ask, like, what were some ways, back in Palestine, even that you were coming up? I know they instilled it in you, but like some of the actions, did you have little small jobs when you were a kid, even just cleaning up? And what were some small hustles that you had that kind of helped you with that work ethic?
No, for sure. Like one time I worked at like a tire shop, just like pretty much just putting tires on cars, man. And it's just like the little things, because it's like looking back to it, it's like it's crazy how life has moved from there. But no, that's just what we had to do. And it's like that built like the work ethic in me. It's like no matter how you feel, no matter what it's like, you just gotta show up. You gotta show up. If you have goals in your head, if you have things you want to do, you just gotta show up.
Yeah.
And just be consistent.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. I like to hear that, because this is really like the true way when it comes down to getting that success. There's no other way around it. You have to do what he's saying. You have to sacrifice. You have to work hard. You have to really put it all on the line. And a lot of people think that it can happen overnight, right? But it may look like an overnight success, but what you don't see is everything that he went through in Palestine to get here, right? So definitely dope to hear.
That's a testimony, man. And I want to make notice too, to anybody who's in a place of struggle right now, what Ahmad is doing now and what he was doing then, principle-wise, doesn't even sound too much different. Because like he said, that's where he built it. He built it in the tire shop. So if you're somebody who's doing some grunt work and you're feeling like, man, like I'm burning myself out, I'm not getting anywhere. If you're developing those habits now of that discipline, consistency, showing up and doing it when you don't want to do, that can take you so much further, man. So thank you so much for already sharing that. So you built that foundation in Palestine in conditions that were not great. That were not great. And but it seems like you still had that strong family bond. Your parents were there in your lives. You were in a community where even where resources were scarce, you saw people grinding.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you, what made you say, I want to go to the US of A at the age of 17, or was it before 17? When did you make that decision? And can you tell us a little bit about that story?
No, for sure. There's actually that story starts when I was maybe around like 14 or so.
Okay.
I pretty much, like our college counselor at school told us, hey, there's this thing called the pre-SAT. So you just take a practice test for the actual SAT and it's free. We'll just give it for you guys. And I was like, you know what? I don't even know what that is, but fine. Let me take it. Let me take a look at it. I take it. Turns out I actually get the highest grade in like my entire school. So my college counselor pulls me in and he's like afterwards, he's like, hey, like just bring a family member over. Let's talk about like what the future is like and what you want to do. My dad is a computer engineer. He taught me a lot about it just by like seeing him do the work. So, and I actually came to enjoy it. And so I was like, yeah, I just want to be a computer engineer. And so we looked up for schools in the US, thinking that the US is the dream. And compared to what we have back home, it really is. And like the main reason I moved here is so that I can better my family. Like at the end of the day, I'm not doing this just for myself. Like you gotta pay back the community. You gotta like just pay dividends for like the people who invested in you. Like my parents sacrificed so much and they invested so much in me and my brothers. So I gotta represent. Like I'm a representation at the end of the day of Palestine, whether I like it or not, and of my people. So I gotta keep pushing.
Man, that's a lot to take in there, and that's beautiful. Do you want to comment on that first? Because I got questions, man.
Yeah, go ahead and ask your questions. I'm just gonna, that's just the ultimate story, man.
It
that's
is
the ultimate story. doesn't get much better than this. You know, a lot of success stories start this way, and all I'm hearing that I want you guys to also take in as well is that, you know, being successful, being a millionaire, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, it starts wherever you are. Where, like B said, it starts in your heart first, right? So you can be successful, right, before you even get to that success, right? Ahmad here, he had these same principles that he was applying when he didn't have it at the tire shop to where he is now when he does have it here in Seattle working at Meta, right? And that's the key. All he did was grow over time, right? He didn't wait till the perfect moment to change. He built the perfect moment.
So
Correct. And what I even wanted to throw out there too, man, there were so many different things that you said. From you guys don't even know how talented you may be. You know,
Yeah.
he heard about the PSAT. Let's start there,
Yeah.
and ended up getting the best score out of anybody. You know, so that's one. Just taking that one step forward, you actually may be as skilled. You actually may be at a higher level right now than you even are acknowledging. You get what I'm saying? And another thing I want to jump into is something that I hope is not too confrontational, but you know, we have to say what we have to say here. I'm not gonna say anything bad. It's just the fact that appreciating where you come from. You know, the United States is not perfect at all, and I know that there's a lot of political rhetoric that goes on every single year. We will always have political rhetoric that happens, but there are some people out there who literally don't have running water, who don't have this, who don't have that, even in America. But if you are a person who has a home over your head, who has consistent food, who has running water, who has these different things, I'm not saying that you have nothing else wrong going on in your life, but sometimes when you could put yourself mentally in the shoes of somebody who has less, it can make you have an appreciation for what you have.
Yes.
Because there are people from all over the world who are fighting to get to this country just for a shot, because they believe in their mind, hey, listen, if I can get to the US, I can make something happen. And then there are people like yourself who actually came and did it, you know, and that's a beautiful story. Do you have anything to say about that, or yourself too, Ahmad? Just about
Do you have anything to say?
Appreciating America, appreciating hey, the opportunities.
It's no, I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's a lot of people dream of coming here, and at the end of the day, you can, yes, hard work is important, but there's also like an element of luck to it. But the thing that I feel like people don't realize as much is the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
the more opportunities you will get. Like it's crazy, when I was like interviewing for jobs, I had to study and do like a lot of interviews, and it's like, yeah, like when I had my interviews at Meta, I thought, okay, you know what, this wasn't as bad as I thought. So my head I was like, oh, maybe I just got lucky. But no, it's like because I actually worked so hard and put in so much effort into showing my best self, that's what happened. They ended up getting an offer and they wanted to like move me out here and everything. So you just, yeah, there is an element of luck, but at the end of the day, you have to keep pushing. The harder you work, the luckier you get.
You know, I've heard a quote. Y'all know I'm good for a quote.
Yeah.
And that quote says that luck is where opportunity meets preparation. So because you were grinding so hard and because you were building those skills, when you finally got that alley-oop, you know, lucky shot, you weren't gonna miss that shot.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And he just said it. You know, if you're working hard and you're developing these skills, you start getting luckier and luckier, because
100%.
when those opportunities, those random opportunities come, because they come whether you're prepared for them or not, you'll be able to actually succeed and actually step up to the plate when they come. So that's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So do you want to get into your tech background a little bit? Like when you got to the US and you were at 17, were you going straight to college? Like
Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind telling us how your college experience was?
No, for sure, man.
And like what you majored in?
Yeah. No, so I went to the University of Delaware at 17 in 2017, and I majored in computer engineering.
Okay.
And I will say that my time in college was actually some of the fondest memories I have, because I met some people who did not just appreciate me for who I am or accept me for who I am as being someone who's foreign to this country, but they also like had goals and things in their head that they want to do. One of my closest friends, actually, he's been doing different businesses ever since he was 15. And he's like, if something does not work, he never gives up. He just keeps pushing. And I will say that, like, that just seeing that inspired me a lot. And I feel like that's maybe something that people don't realize as much is you got to put your voice out there because you can actually inspire people without even realizing it.
Yep.
Like there's always something to learn from each and everyone's story. So, and that can help people. Like you never know, like some people can be in a bad place and just hearing this might give them the hope they need so they can keep pushing and actually do something super cool with their life.
I 100% agree. Man, I feel like what you just spoke to is community.
Yeah.
100%.
Essentially,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because, you know, even when you were back in Palestine, you couldn't do it by yourself. You had your mom and your dad instilling that, hey, you got to grind. Hey, even when you don't want to get up. So then even when you came to America, you were able to meet somebody or meet, I'm sure he wasn't probably even the only person.
No, not at all.
With people who had a mentality. I think that speaks a lot. You know, we said that a couple weeks ago in the pod, though.
Yeah.
You know, is that, you know, you have to choose your friends wisely. I don't know if you remember when Q and we were talking about that and just making sure like the people you're going to business with, you have to be around people that have the same principles as you.
100%, man.
And probably even a little bit more locked into you. You know, you don't want to bring them down, but they're that extra to keep pushing.
Yeah,
that's
man.
beautiful. So you started with the computer engineering. Can I ask, so what made you kind of like take that route initially? Like why go into the computer engineering field rather than, I don't know, like
Medicine
chemistry or medicine?
Yeah. No, for sure. So my dad is a computer engineer, and ever since I was young, I was just like very curious about things. So I would just ask him a lot of questions about what kind of work he did, or how do certain things work. And from there, I started liking more math and sciencey things. So engineering just felt like a natural progression of that. And then I was like, oh, like what's like specifically one engineering? I like what my dad has been teaching me. I feel like it's super cool. Technology is the future. And it will be for a long time. Like it's crazy just how much technological shifts we've witnessed over like the last few years. Just from like the advancements of like the VR headsets to like the meta glasses and everything. And now they have a display in the glasses that you can like see notifications and talk to. It's crazy. So it's like there's definitely something exciting about the field. It's like ever changing. And that's something that I feel like I've embodied a lot. I don't like being comfortable. Because when you get comfortable is when you get complacent. So when there's a field that challenges you to grow, because you have to grow and like keep learning on what the new things are so that you can keep pushing, then just like it stimulates your mind too. So it's overall like that's why I picked it.
Man, beautiful. You got any questions there?
You know, I do have a question.
Yeah.
I would want to know for somebody who's 17 right now going into college, right, and looking to get into tech at some point, you know, would you still suggest that they major in that specific major you major in?
100%. I feel like tech will always change, but I feel like it will always be there. I feel like, as you said, like social media will only actually grow even further from now. Like the whole thing with the meta glasses is just the way you can interact with people. And now they have a thing where like you don't even have to type or say anything into the glasses. They actually can feel your hand movement. And from that, translate that into text. I feel like just the connection that people are about to have to each other about to grow even more. I would say for sure that field is, one, it's lucrative. You learn a lot and you just end up growing.
Yeah.
You meet so many smart people. So many smart people in this field. They can just meet and be like, wow, like it inspires me because there's so much I can learn from. There's so much I can go into. So no, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and so because you know this last year in tech has been, you know, so volatile for so many different people and so many different roles within it. But I know that, you know, there are other sectors of tech that are growing, like you said.
100%.
So can you like talk to the viewers and maybe give a couple of segments and sectors of tech that you believe are growing and doing well? Like you said, maybe, you know, for social media or computer engineering. What are some sectors that are going to do well going into 2026 and just the rest of the decade? And what are some sectors that you see kind of dying off a little bit too, if you could touch on that?
Ooh, no, that's fair. I feel like some of the things that are definitely growing is like data infrastructure. With the rise of AI, there's just so much more data flowing around. Like
Yeah.
when you just have a message with ChatGPT, it spits out like a whole essay for you. And that just is like transforming the way we view data and the way people interact with that data as well. Because now we can have AI agents where you can feed the data from one model into another. And so there's like an explosion of data there, and you want to make sure that all of that is reliable and build good infrastructure about that. So infrastructure for sure,
Yep, data
What-
infrastructure.
100%. I feel like with the wearables, just
Mhm.
like the whole like meta glasses, just like
Oculus,
100%.
and what is the other one? The Apple one, the
oh,
Apple Vision.
Apple Vision, yeah.
Which they said was a failure, but y'all keep your eyes on that because everybody was saying it was just a test. But okay, so the wearables and,
For sure.
and AR, VR, you feel like
100%.
that's going to be growing.
Yeah, 100%. Because it allows you. I feel like if it can get to a point where you can connect, like more on like maybe a metaphysical state with your loved ones. Like my family's all back home.
Yeah.
If I can like instead of having a call or just a video call, like I can like
Put on a VR headset and see your
exactly
mom right
like through my
across from you.
glasses or something like that. I feel like that will build something much more meaningful.
Yeah.
I
It
feel like
does,
that will
it
build
does.
something
Wow.
much more meaningful.
That's a
for
good
sure.
point that you brought up because even though that we are getting some good technology, a lot of people get afraid. They get afraid and start looking down upon it. But that's a good way to reframe the mindset and see how this technology could be really doing some good. That's a good example
sure.
right there.
For sure.
sure.
Well, and I know we're on mindset right now
Yeah.
and on your story, but since we brought up the tech, I do want to get in a little bit more into that tech conversation.
Yeah.
Just because, especially you're working at Meta.
Mhm.
So let's talk about the VR world. Let's talk about some of this tech stuff, and then we'll go back into mindset a
For
little
sure.
bit.
Yeah.
You said that the sector is going to be growing in the AR and VR world. We often talk about this here too. Do you see any like social media, or like what do you feel like social media looks like in a VR world? And then I wanted to ask you, do you have any inside information, as far as not inside information but perspective rather,
Yeah.
just because you're in the
Right,
tech
right.
field, about what are going to be some of those big segments within VR, AR, or what segments that are already big now are going to get big? And don't
For
worry, like I
sure.
said, I'll wrap it back up and bring it back.
for sure. No. No, that's a good question. I feel like there's a couple of things. I feel like if we approach it from a perspective of let's build better connections with people and have people be more connected with each other, and that's if you strive towards that goal, then you'll get something. So I really do think if we get to a point where not just like you can see and read text through the glasses, but if you can actually like maybe see the person you're talking to through a phone call, a video call, or whatever, and actually like when they laugh, you can actually see that. Then that just like it just makes me happier. That would definitely make me happier to see, for sure.
For sure.
Because there's just how like it makes it like closer to a physical reality than it's just okay, let me just hear the voice and that's it, for sure. I feel like within that I can see that growing for sure, just like getting the physical aspect of it as close to us as possible.
Yeah.
Whether it is through making them like look like them, like show emotions, whether you can feel like if you move your head around, you can actually, it feels like you're in the world,
Yeah.
in their world. Like it doesn't feel like you're like looking at a screen to look at them. No, it's just like they're there.
You're just there.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's so funny? I know Meta has already allowed it for you to be able to have like, seats to a basketball game, and like there's already virtual concerts.
Yep.
So I can only imagine that even like virtual podcasts or something
100%.
will be a thing, or something that we got into last week as well. Me and Official Go Getter talking about streaming. That's like my new thing that I'm like trying to like really wrap my head around and understand where streaming is going.
Yep.
Because I feel like it got so big so fast, even though people have been streaming for a long time.
Yep.
Imagine a world we're probably not that far away from, where you put on your VR mask, somebody is streaming a podcast live, but you can press a button and take a live question just as if we're
100%.
sitting here talking.
Yeah,
I don't think we're far off from that. I can see that being a thing.
100%.
Yeah. What do you think, Official?
Yeah, no, I just thought about what you said. I never thought about the live podcast thing, of somebody just being able
In VR.
in VR, somebody being able to, pay $9.99 so they can be a part of the live VR experience of the blueprint table. Like that's definitely a real thing because I'm sure they're gonna be charging for courtside seats.
Oh
For the
man,
NBA.
they already do it.
They're already
It's already a
charging for
thing.
courtside
Yeah.
seats on the for the NFL and NBA games in the VR world. So I could definitely be seeing that be a thing for content creators. To get some business out of that. You start charging for people to join you in real life through VR. So,
100%. Well, because I was even going to ask you too on
Yeah.
the other end. I mean, VR, the AR and VR world for big corporations is probably like trillions. They probably see trillions, I would assume, right?
Oh yeah.
Because just like you said that you could use it for good stuff, just general connectivity with your family and like content creators to their consumers. What do you think that like big commercial advertisement is going to be like in the VR? Because it's already probably there. Like big
No.
Sprite banners going. You're using
That's a good point. One thing I've actually like heard or recently is like imagine if you can like see what like imagine it's a Super Bowl, right? Okay, you're sitting in the field and you're seeing everyone like just being energetic and crazy. What if you can see like the player's perspective?
live?
Yeah,
Oh my
like
goodness,
live,
that'd be
and you can just
insane.
like see the
Yeah.
perspective. You can like turn your head around. You can like see what they're seeing.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
You're reading the defense. Yeah.
Just like
while they
immersion,
doing-
having
you're
that
like,
sort of
no,
immersion.
He's open.
Yeah.
For the view of the quarterback all game.
Yeah, that would be
that
insane.
would be definitely dope. And as a
100%.
quarterback,
Yeah.
that's some way for them to get revenue as well. So the quarter. So if you have a player and you want to buy that player or not buy the
Players'
player, but-
perspective.
Yeah,
just
by
even-
that perspective.
Or even just NFL in general.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
allowing
man.
you different perspectives.
Yeah.
Like you just said, you could buy a virtual ticket now. You don't even have to leave your seat. You
Yeah,
get what I'm saying? They could sell 1 million virtual tickets.
100%.
And, but that probably even bumps up the price of the in-person tickets.
Yeah.
To be
100%,
honest,
yeah,
because
man.
we don't even need to fill the stadiums anymore.
Mhm.
So wow, man. Wow. I feel like you can go so much deeper into the VR conversation. But I do want to bring it back
Yeah,
to
for
some
sure.
mindset stuff.
Yeah.
So as far as your timeline, you're in college, you're meeting people, and
Yep.
you're developing the community that's helping you develop this just disciplined disciplined lifestyle that you have.
100%.
And so can I ask,
Yeah.
before you got with Meta, like kind of what were you doing, if you don't mind? You don't even
Yeah,
have to say what
yeah.
company, just
No, I don't mind.
what job were you working? And then
Yeah.
how did you get your shot at working at Meta?
For sure. No, that's a really good question. So when I actually first graduated from college, so I did my bachelor's, and my college had a program called like 4+1 where you can do your master's within a year after graduating.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, why not? Let me do that. And they had like a specific like part of it, where it was like, if you do some research, they'll pay for you to do your master's. So I'm like, why not? Why not? I have a year. I'm still very young. Let me just do it. So then afterwards, I worked at Amazon, a software engineer actually, remotely from Delaware. And I was there for around 6 or 7 months. And then January 2023 hit, and they had the big layoffs. They actually ended up laying off my whole organization. And it was, at the time, I was like, of course, very stressed. But also I was like, am I like not capable of like being in some place like this? I had some like self-doubt of like, oh, like what if I can't make it to some place that's as good as this
Yeah.
in the future? And so I started thinking like that. Then I'm like, no, if I made it here, I can go much further.
Yeah.
And it's just like a bump in the road, and you just gotta keep pushing. Like something else will come in the future. So afterwards, I worked for a medical healthcare startup specializing in breast cancer, and this was also in Delaware for around a year and a half. But the thing is about it, the pace I feel like was too slow,
Yeah.
because you had to go through the FDA and get things, just like make sure that things are all set up right. The work felt slower, and it's not really what I wanted to do, even though I love the people that I work with. So I was like, you know what? Let me look at companies that have like fast-paced culture, like as in like things can change and things can happen, but like they empower you to make your own decisions, and just if you want to commit to something, commit to it, and just make changes as quick as you can. So, and Meta was that. was like the number one there, and it also had its place in prestige and everything. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, let me apply. Why not? And I applied, and that's where we are right now.
Man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, can I ask you,
Yeah,
mindset wise, man?
yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of people in the tech sector that have been laid off this year.
100%. Yeah,
We
yeah,
did a video, about a couple months ago. We've actually been talking about it for a while, the tech layoffs of how many different companies. Remember, we went down the full list of just how many people got laid off per company,
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah, yeah.
and that list is growing. What can you say right now to someone who just got laid off? You said you had gotten laid off.
100%.
You know what they're feeling. You
Yep,
know how they are, and you're in a better position now. Is there any message that you could say specifically to somebody who got laid off?
for sure. First of all, if you got laid off, especially in this market, it's not your fault. It's not a reflection on your capabilities. So what that means is you are capable. If you've made it here, then you deserve to be here. So you just gotta keep pushing. You do not give up. Try to hone in your skills. Try to like prepare for interviews and everything a bit more. And it will be a grind. Don't get me wrong, but you gotta get there. Especially like because so many people have been laid off, the field is more competitive, which means you have to grind even more in order to like showcase yourself even better. But you just have to keep pushing. You have to keep pushing, no matter how long it takes. You'll figure something out. You'll figure something out, and you'll eventually find something. Because again, as we said, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So you just gotta prepare. You gotta prepare. The opportunities will come, but you just gotta prepare. You gotta put the effort in.
100%.
Mm.
100%. That's beautiful, man. So I want to go back too because we talked about, you said data infrastructure,
Yes,
you
sir.
said AR, VR
Yep, yep.
as a sector. But now we just touched on people getting laid
Yep, yep,
off.
yep, yep.
What are some sectors that, if you were in tech right now and that you've seen kind of get laid off, that you could talk to some of the viewers and say, hey, if you're maybe working as a this right now, maybe I would look at doing this. Does it make sense? Like,
For sure.
what can you say as far as that? The different sectors that you think are probably going to go down, and maybe some linear shifts that could be made to make sure that you can stay employed.
No, for sure. I feel like one with those, they can be hard to predict just with how things quickly change. Like, so I don't think that there'll be like one concrete answer that will hold. But I will say, at least in my experience, robotics itself has been a bit shaky. I've had a few of my friends join Amazon in robotics even after I got laid off, and they also ended up going through something similar where they got laid off as well. So I feel like with that sector specifically, things are maybe shakier than expected. Maybe there were some over promises, like people over promised and didn't deliver, or like maybe it's something like, I mean, I'll tell you this: when I was working within the robotics division of Amazon, I actually got to go into one of the warehouses, and it's crazy. Like the warehouses are like 90% robots. It is crazy. So it's like, I'm thinking about it, and I feel like the thing that will grow even more is maybe like being like a field engineer, where you're someone who's like, oh, hey, the robot is having issues. We need someone to go maintain it or someone to go fix it. There'll definitely be a need for that because there's more and more of them. But I feel like the people actually working on those, there's not going to be as much because they're already saturated the whole warehouse. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you just dropped some gems already.
Yeah,
Because
that's
that
some
was
good
even
gems.
we were gonna. I was gonna get there. I was gonna ask, like, just some other jobs that you
Yeah.
feel like can be, I don't even want to say recession proof because it's like, that's tough. But
Yep.
even AI, I don't want to say AI proof,
Yep.
but
Yep.
enhanced by AI, because we always talk
100%.
about that too.
100%.
I think I've already had said that too. Like, if you were an infrastructure person in general, and when I say in general, I'm talking about plumbers, I'm talking
100%.
about
Yeah, man.
HVAC techs. You get what I mean? Those are some of the people that I feel like are the hardest to replace fully by AI,
100%.
because who's gonna go up in your ducts and figure it out? You
100%.
got to have somebody get up there
Yeah.
and do it.
And that's like a job that you will always need someone to do that.
Yeah.
You will always need that.
and
Like
especially at an industrial level. Too.
100%.
Yeah.
You cannot have no infrastructure. You will forever need infrastructure. And it's, if anything, it's more crucial now than ever.
That's great. That's great. So, okay, so you get the job at Meta.
Yep.
Let's talk more mindset and let's talk more discipline there. So you go through the rigorous process, you go through the interview process, you start working with your job.
Yep.
Are there any things that you do on the daily, or on the weekly, or on the monthly that you could even maybe share with some viewers, like, hey, who are maybe struggling to get disciplined, struggling to have a plan for their day?
Yep.
Because the fact that you even said, remember, y'all, he said when he first got to Seattle, he wrote down goals for that week.
100%. 100%.
Do y'all hear? Like, I don't know if you caught that. Did you catch
Yep.
that? That just means even planning and setting goals is in his own fabric of his being. You get what I'm saying? Because that's what you should do. You should wake up and say, "What can I do for the week?" So,
Yep.
are there reoccurring things that you have on your daily, weekly, monthly
No,
schedule
for
that you can
sure.
share?
No, 100%. One thing I feel like I've got to experience a lot of work, and it's also like a principle that people have, is execution. And what I mean by that is, you can plan and plan and plan and plan, but at the end of the day, you can just plan and not actually do the work that is needed. I feel like in like other jobs I've been at, people can get stuck in like an analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Where they're like, you know what? Let me just go analyze the different ways I can do this and everything. And oh, well, there's this way and that way, and here's the pros and cons and everything. At the end of the day, you will not really know what happens unless you do it. So the best way to actually get a sense for whether something will work or not is to actually start executing on it.
Right.
And Meta has this thing where it's not just execution that is quick, failing is quick. And what I mean by that is, if you see that something is not working and you're already getting the early signal, then you can have something that's called like failing fast. You don't have to spend so much time into it to prove something that at the end of the day you have it like you think might not work. So if you see that there's something that's not working, just okay, that's fine. This approach will not work. Let's try to pivot into something else. And so seeing people embody that, like you see so much change, because like they get to try out so many different things, and then once the right idea or the right approach sticks, it like people execute immediately. Like they start going ham on just like making it work. So yes, like executing and then failing quickly, for sure.
Man, that's some great advice. That's some
Those are
great
some good
advice.
points.
I was gonna say, you have anything to add on that one?
Nah, those are some good points right there for sure.
Yeah, I think taking action, man. It's so funny. The things that literally separate the people who have and the people who just dream about it is literally taking action.
100%, man. 100%.
So I want to encourage any viewers out there who, if you're looking at this video and you're hearing some of this and you're like, man, I want to attain it, man. I want to get into tech, or I want to make that move to that new city and I want to make it happen. Write your goals, but actually do the action.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you don't do the actions, you're just not going to change, and then that's just it. That's just it. Okay, so mentally, you've attained that. You went from Palestine all the way to the U.S. You went through college. You got your master's. You worked for a company. Got laid off. Did some other work. It wasn't as fulfilling. Now you do you feel relatively fulfilled now in your new role?
Yeah.
So what now, I guess? Because now you feel like you've gotten there. What are your goals that you're trying to do now? And what is even some future stuff that you're trying to work on? I know you're only 25. So
no, that's a really good question. I would say that when I first joined Meta, it's just surprised me how, like, you feel like, oh yeah, I made it. This company, I've made it.
Yeah.
But then you get to actually like meet the people who've been there for like 5, 10, 15 years, and it's like the amount of knowledge they've built is insane. And just like the way they can speak and just like present their own ideas or present their thoughts, it makes you think, it's like, wow, like he made something that is so complicated make sense. And it sounds so easy. So I will say, like, there's a lot of growth opportunities I see within myself at the job. Like one being just being able to talk to people in a way that is convincing. Like one thing that I've seen is, like, there's this one dude who actually ended up starting our team, and now he is pretty much he's like the dude responsible for all the technical decisions that the entire data infrastructure org at Meta makes. And just seeing how he breaks things down and how he analyzes, how he approaches things, like there's like an intuition there that you cannot just get. Like, I don't know. I feel like the only way you can get that is by just working hard and working on so many different things and actually putting the time and effort in.
Mhm.
And so like seeing how smart and accomplished these people are is very inspiring, and it makes me want to grow. And I feel like I have a lot of growth opportunities at work to do even better and to grow into even higher and higher levels that I haven't really had in any other place before. So no, I have like a lot of goals and a lot of support within my team too to go with after those goals. So yeah,
Man,
sure.
that is absolutely amazing. You
Mhm.
know, so you know, I feel like what you just kind of said there is just the importance again, and I feel like this community themes keeps coming back,
100%, man.
but that
Yeah.
becomes your new community. If you can start sharing space and sharing conversations and
100%,
sharing work
100%.
experiences with people who you know for a fact are masters at their
Yes,
field, you know,
sir.
in
Yes,
the
sir.
upper echelons of these huge, amazing tech companies. I mean, you know, that's just a beautiful story in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you said something about confidence and being able to speak on something confidently. Can you maybe I guess maybe talk a little bit more about that, and like when you're getting into a new field, when you're trying to proclaim something and proclaim to be an expert in something, be able
Mm-hmm.
to say it with
Yep,
confidence.
yep.
What are some of those different principles that you have to have so that when someone comes and they want to get on camera and sell a new product, or they
Mm-hmm,
want to
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
get in front of the panel for an
Yes, sir.
interview and be able to say with their chest, hey,
Yep,
listen, I know that I can do this because this.
yep.
What do they need to do?
You gotta know your stuff. You can't just go up and talk about something without having done something with it or done something about it. You have to have like sort of like some skin in the game, which is, yeah, you know what? I thought about this problem. I have these few ideas. I tried some of them out. Here's why I think this is the right approach. And let's discuss, because it's like confidence is not just not accepting what everyone else has to say, or like not accepting, I don't want to say opposition, but like discussion. If anything, the more confident you are, the more confident you should be in having a discussion and having a back and forth with people and being like, oh yeah, let's talk. Like, why do you think this is a better idea? And let's discuss. And I feel like the important thing is if you take the ego out of it, and if you actually just think about, well, okay, I'm here because we're both here because we both want to solve a problem. We're not like attacking each other. We both want to solve a problem. We have different approaches and different ideas. Let's discuss. Because at the end of the day, if you go in with that mindset of like, hey, we just gotta crush this problem. We gotta like figure out what we need to do here. Then you like at the end of the day, you either say the right approach or you learn something. And then you become even more confident because you know even more. You become even more knowledgeable, and there's always something to learn, man. There is always something to learn. So if anything, I over index on having these conversations. I try to build up some knowledge about it, actually like execute a bit and be like, okay, here's what I've observed, here's what makes sense, here's what doesn't, and let's have a conversation and let's learn from each other.
100%, 100%. Man, this has just been intriguing. Like so far, I'm not even gonna lie. That's really real. That's really real. I feel like, you know, being able to have experience in whatever you're doing is obviously a plus. But it's having the framework and the philosophy to just be problem solving oriented.
Yes, so
That even works some, I feel like, for salespeople, for people who are trying to sell. I've done a lot of sales in my life, and I've had a lot of interactions where I lost the sale, had a lot of interactions where I won the sale,
Yep.
and just it's almost like taking yourself out of it. You know what I mean?
100%,
You're
yeah.
not even just saying, "Oh, I'm the expert. Work with me. I'm the expert." It's literally framing what's the problem. Here are some solutions that I'm pretty sure are gonna help you out with it.
100%.
Yeah,
100%,
and,
man.
and it seems like that could work not just in sales, but that also works in a corporate setting
100%.
where you're
Yeah,
working with
yeah.
others as well. Yeah. Do you have anything to chime in, official?
Nah, man.
I know he's just taking it in. He's taking it in. Just want to make sure I'm not over talking you, man.
No, you're all good.
Wow. Where can we go from here? Okay, so when it comes to your job now, you said you've been there for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
You're going into your second year at this big company. You've been around all of these different people.
Yep.
Can I ask you, like, you know, I feel like a lot of people sensationalize working for a big tech company in your regard. Can you say like some of the general problems that you go through on, like, I don't want to say on a day-to-day, but like just on like that you've seen over the last year that some people may not think is happening, like some common problems that even average people go through that these big companies do?
I will say I'm wary of like saying this as if it's like a problem, but more so
or just
like,
struggles.
a
that
struggle.
they have
Let's
to,
say
yeah.
there is hard work. You gotta work really hard. There's people. It's crazy when you work at these companies. It's these people always want to do better and better and better, and you're surrounded by people who want to do that, so they strive for more and more and more.
Mhm.
So you gotta grow. You cannot be complacent.
Mhm.
And what that means is maybe sometimes you will take on a project. You're like, shoot, there's a lot here. Maybe I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable with myself. Maybe I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable, or I'm not like 100% sure that I'm gonna do this. Maybe it's like 50% or like 70% or maybe even 30%. But what that empowers is growth, because you're uncomfortable. But if you end up doing it, then you got to a point where you're not only did you work hard, you grew from that.
Mhm.
So I would say there is definitely a culture of growth and just like always learning and always pushing. And I will say that also like one important thing is that expectations year by year they increase.
Yeah.
Like you
Mhm.
cannot like let's say okay, you did a good job this year and your performance rating was like, let's say you met all expectations. You cannot go into the mindset, okay, let me do the same thing next year and feel like I'll be okay. Because others around you are growing. So others around you are pushing that bar, are pushing that boundary. So the bar naturally just goes higher. So there's definitely some stress. There's definitely some moments of where you feel like you're uncomfortable. And there's more you need to learn and more you need to grow. But again, that just empowers all of that. Learning and growing. And just by the fact that I'm surrounded by so many smart people, makes me want to do all of that. It makes me want to be like, you know what? I have a golden opportunity here. I should not waste that. I'm surrounded by so many smart people. I should keep pushing. I should learn more. I should like try to make a name for myself so I can get even on bigger and bigger projects. Because like for me, one thing I really enjoy about the work is just seeing the level of impact
Mhm.
that my work specifically does, and striving for even doing more and more and more of that, and like seeing something like people like the thing that I work on,
Mhm.
it is the thing that allows you to go on Instagram, see how many likes you have, how many views you have, all of that, just like your engagement, your reach. If that breaks, that affects a lot of people. And I hear on the daily how that's very empowering to people. So it's the fact that there's that level of dependence as well of like, oh no, your work is important and it actually affects so many people. It makes you want to grow and do even more than that.
Yeah.
100%, man. 100%. Man, let's see how much time we got here. How much time we got, Q? We good? Okay. So that means we can go deeper, man. That means we can go deeper.
Now let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, I got time,
If
man.
you got some time, let's see. I think we
Yes,
have
sir.
40. Okay. Because I didn't want to fully wrap it up, just because every time you say something, it's like I get like more ideas. I'm not playing. Let's talk about social media.
Yep.
So you're working on the infrastructure of social media.
Yep.
You said the team that you work on is assisting with the mechanism and the infrastructure for people to even view their insights on their posts and their
100%,
likes and their
100%.
everything like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't want you to say anything that you can't talk about.
Okay.
But as far as social media, the algorithms, somebody who's trying to build a page because they're trying to build a community
Yep.
online and things like that, is there any perspective that you can give us as creators, that you can give the viewers as creators, content creators moving into 2026 to try to focus on? Is there anything that you know about
Ooh.
just even how the apps work and how we could best use them?
No, for sure. That's a very interesting question. I'm trying to see what I can
know
say
that's
and
not
what I
incorrect.
can't
Yeah,
say.
that's what I said. I don't want you to say anything that you can't.
No,
maybe, or answer, but if I need to frame it differently, I
no,
can.
for sure. I feel like the main thing that I've seen carry is this. One of the most important like customers for Meta is people who have around the 10,000 to 50,000
Range.
like follower
Okay.
range. They're the ones who are striving to grow more. So they make a lot of posts. They use their insights. They really have a lot of value in that. I feel like the one thing I've seen is, and this goes back into consistency actually. If anything, the more consistent you are and the more you push out, the better, like the better results you will get. Because at the end of the day, like the algorithm will try to tailor your content to people that it thinks will like your content. So the more content you will have, the better understanding you will get of what you can act like. Of, oh, okay, you know what? I should recommend it to this person or that person. And if you can recommend it to people who are more likely minded for the topics that you're talking about, then you're actually going to build like customers or like people who are actually engaged with and like are excited to see, oh, well, what's their next episode? What are they going to talk about? So again, it's just like all about consistency. Because the more you post, the better your chances are at just like finding the right people, the right audience, and then just having people who stick by your side.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and it's crazy that you mentioned that because I mean, I can speak from experience. You know, I can speak to that from experience, right? Lately I've been posting consistently on my Full Circle Wealth page.
Nice.
We get people into stocks and crypto, and like you said, the more consistent that I've been, right, the better, the more that they push out to the people,
100%.
right? And most recently, I've been consistent. And I made a video that was kind of out the norm of my normal type of videos, and it pushed it to the algorithm, right? It pushed it to the to people who are not following me, right? So with that being said, once I realized that was the case, now I ended up doubling down on my consistency, like you were saying, because all it takes is consistency. And then back to what you were saying about how they're able to actually see what kind of value that you're bringing to your page, so they can push it to the people who can actually receive that value.
100%.
Yeah, no, that helped a lot because it really truly builds your brand, because your social media page is almost like your personality, right? And if people are able to grasp who you are, grasp what it is that you're teaching,
Yes, sir.
right, the more likely it is that you build that audience. 100%. And then, like you said, you build customers through that. And I've also been realizing that it's not about missing one post isn't just about us anymore, right? It's about the whole audience, because like you said, they're looking forward to that next post, right? They're looking forward to that next episode. We just got value from you the last 3 days. We need some more value from you.
Yeah, well, even Instagram or Facebook is literally wanting to push, like you just said. He just said that the apps actually want to put your stuff in front, and I'm actually guilty of like posting so many different things on one page that I know my Instagram algorithm is like, what are you, man? What are you trying to do? And I was literally just talking to my fiance the other day, and she works at one of the big companies as well. It has a lot of insight, and she has said the same thing to me. She was like, Brandon, she was like, if I was you, I would really consider siloing different pages for the different things that you're trying to do, so your algorithm knows what your page is trying to do, so that you can go faster.
100%.
And I want to touch on that consistency part too. I've been following a lot of content creators over this last year intently, trying to understand how to grow. Obviously, we're trying to grow this page. I'm trying to grow my business, personal pages. And this guy, now I don't think we have to do this, and viewers, I'm not saying to do this, but he went from like 30,000 followers to over 1 million followers. No joke. And he had this set of reels that he had did a couple weeks ago. I think it was even last week, just because it's the end of the year. He was reflecting. He was like, man, I grew to over 1 million followers in a year. He was like, I'm gonna tell you what to do right now. And he just makes random posts. He's like a rapper or whatever. He posted 40 times a day. 40 for like the first 6 months. No jokes. And even if it was a 5-second reel of him just saying some stupid stuff, he was like, because he knew that he had 50-something thousand followers, or 30-something thousand, whatever it was. And he said he knew that Instagram doesn't show your post to all your followers. So even if you post 40 times in a day, still only about 30-40% of your followers are even seeing every post that you got. And he said majority of his stuff started actually being seen by non-followers, because the Instagram finally figured out what he was, and it was because he gave it more data, like you said. So
that's happening to me right now. You know, like all my likes and everything are coming from non-followers. You know? And then it's also pushing it to followers. I mean, I've had people like a reel recently in the last couple of days. I'm like, bro, I didn't even know you still followed me. I didn't know you were
That's
still
great,
around, right? So it's still pushing it to followers who, so just that consistency is really key.
Man, yeah, you're so right.
I don't know what video, we don't know what video is gonna go off, right? But I know that if I post, 10 within a week, it's more likely to have one, right?
100%.
Instead of posting 4 within a week.
100%, 100%, man.
So that's something I feel like we could even say to viewers too, man. It seems like your volume and your consistency on social media can be a good help.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's go in and start to wrap it up here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again, even just for coming and
Oh,
having
yeah,
a conversation.
sure.
I feel like we touched on so many different things. I do want to bring it back to your upbringing in Palestine and then
Yep.
coming back over here. What advice can you give to immigrants or first generation professionals or anyone that is just starting over just right now? It's the end of the year going into 2026.
Yep. I'll tell you this. I actually have a couple of points. One specifically for immigrants too is the fact that we're immigrants means we have a great opportunity here. Like, we got here, so we gotta do something with it. Recognize that people dream of being here, and you're here, so you better capitalize on that. And because we're immigrants, most of the time that means things are harder. Like, even finding jobs that like sponsor you or can give you like a work visa or whatever is harder. They're more limited. So what that only means you gotta keep pushing and show up for yourself even better. You gotta showcase your skills and hone in your skills so much that it impresses these people into being like, you know what? Yeah, we want him. We'll cover his immigration costs. Fine, because he's just that valuable. No, for sure. That's one.
And just first generation professionals who are kind of
No, 100%.
any advice for them?
Yes, sir. No. I'll tell you this, and this is something that I do. I feel like a lot of people like can have like write down their goals and everything. But I feel like one really good thing that I do is like I have goals for the year and goals for like for 5-10 years and so on. And one thing I do is every 3 months, I actually go back and I check. I'm like, okay, hey, how am I doing? Like, how am I doing on these goals? Have I done anything about them? Why not? Because I feel like 3 months is like a good enough period where you can even put a dent in some of these like long-term goals that you have.
Yeah.
So just like revisiting every 3 months and checking, okay, well, what went well? What did not go so well? Oh, is this something that maybe, I don't know, I put it down as a goal, but maybe I actually realize I don't really need to do this. Or maybe I do need to do this. Oh, shoot, I need to put more time into this. Why am I wasting all my time? Or what am I wasting my time on? And I do that every 3 months. And I literally journal it down. Like, I literally write all of this down. And I spend like maybe 4 or 5 hours just on myself, like thinking, okay, what can I do better? Now that I've learned this, what can I do better for the next 3 months? How do I show up for myself even better? How do I like set my goals more appropriately and so on? So I feel like if you go at it with that approach where you're like, I have these goals for my business. Let me revisit and see how am I doing on like the long-term basis. And that builds up like a really good foundation because you can look back often, but not often enough where there's not that much progress that has been happened or that much time has passed. So I would do that for sure.
And I want to ask you, man, thank you so much for sharing that. How do you document that? Do you document it electronically or do you document it like in a notebook or something?
No, for
I
sure.
feel like everybody's been talking about journaling. You probably hear so many people talking about it. And I was like, I went and bought a journal, y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
And a pack of pens.
Yes, sir.
And I ain't gonna lie. So there is something about writing something down specifically.
Yeah,
that's
I personally write all my stuff down. So yeah, go ahead.
So how do you do
No,
it? Do you do it electronically? How are you doing
that's a really good point. I actually write it down by hand.
Yeah.
I write it down by hand. And the one thing I do is I end up like, okay, after like I'm done writing it by hand, I like, summarize it into a document electronically that I can like revisit, like even on my phone. Like let's say like I actually do something towards one of these goals and I can like just write that down and take notes. Oh, here's what I did. Here's what something that I think went really, really well and to think about once I'm at that next check-in period. And it's crazy. It's like how financial companies have their like financial quarters. I map mine specifically to that.
Yeah.
The start of the year, 3 months in, 6 months in, 9 months in, and then at the end of the year. That's just how I do it.
Yeah, that's something I thought about as you were saying it. All the publicly traded companies, they do the quarterly.
Operate by quarterly.
Exactly.
Yeah, any business that's making money and making a lot of it, they checking in every 3 months.
100%.
Definitely got their
100%. Yeah.
Now speaking of companies, man, I do got a question, man. I'm the stock guy, so I got a question about the Meta stock, right? Based off the knowledge that you have, I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but just based off of what you know, being an employee and the knowledge that you have, are you bullish or bearish when it comes down to Meta in 2026?
No, I feel like that's a really good question. I work there, so I'm bullish on it.
Yeah,
but I have my reasons too.
Yeah.
I I feel like with AI, like we've witnessed its growth, its exponential growth
Yep.
throughout like the last 3 years. Like if you compare just like how we used AI today compared to like 3 months ago, it is
Yeah, it's different.
it's crazy. And so to me what that emphasizes is there'll be more use of it, and there's definitely gonna be more use of it within social media itself. And Meta is a big social media company, and the more people you can get using that, then the better you can understand these people, the better you can personalize things towards these people, personalize their own experiences and everything. Like it's crazy. You can now, like with the Meta AI that they have, you can just say, oh hey, I want to do this, can you help me like set up a plan? Or like, hey, I'm going on a trip with my friends in 2 weeks to this location, just suggest me some ideas. It's just like the fact that it's automating so many more things.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's all like about the connection that you build with these people. I feel like I'm definitely bullish on the stock.
That's
I'm
what I like to
definitely
hear.
bullish.
That's what I like to hear.
Definitely
I
bullish.
mean, yeah, we do follow the stocks here. What is here? I was about to say.
Yeah, Meta did have an
What are
update
they up?
today. They're
Well,
at 664, right?
664?
So, sir, they're inching back up. They've been on a kind of like an uptrend the last few days.
Yes,
And
sir.
now,
So, yeah.
official go getter, because I want to ask you about the
Yeah,
Meta
yeah,
stock too. Like over the
Mhm.
last year, where are we? Like if somebody would have invested a year ago today, are they up?
No, honestly,
No.
Meta had a drop this year. Meta had a
Yep.
dip, so they wouldn't be
Up
down.
like up, they wouldn't be up crazy. What is it?
They wouldn't be
10%?
up crazy. It would
Yeah,
be.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it would. I'm looking
Yeah,
right here on. Go. You can go ahead.
Yeah,
and
no,
speak.
for sure.
I was
Do
gonna
you
say
think
look about
that
10%.
the thing that I've seen is specifically in the last quarter, one thing that did happen is with the big beautiful bill, Meta actually got like a one-time $16 billion tax in cash payment that they had to pay. So when they actually released the report, the numbers look like, huh?
Whoa, like
Yo,
how did you lose that
how'd
money?
you lose
But it's
that,
like,
man?
hey man, we had to pay. Yeah,
Exactly, you just had to pay. And the one thing that they also did is that they invested heavily into AI. They're like, you know what, we're going to put more resources on this. We're going to employ more people, build more data centers, just
Yeah.
put more investments into making our models and everything better. So to me, how I see it is they're taking a long-term bet. And the way Mark Zuckerberg has been doing it, because he's a founder, CEO, is that he actually cares about the long-term
Right.
business and the long-term opportunities and the long-term initiatives. So even if for one quarter you had a dip, it's not about that. It's about what are you actually building and what value will it provide. And even if that takes a couple of years to build, for it to metastasize into something much more material, then that's how long it'll take.
Along. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's how long it'll take. And Mark Zuckerberg is definitely about that. He's definitely about, he always like prioritizes the long term over the short term. Because at the end of the day, that's how you build a company that will last.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that. And speaking of how much the Meta stock has increased this year, we're up 12% year to date. So
Okay.
even though we did have a dip this year, we're up 12% year to date. And I've been investing in the stock dollar cost averaging all year, and exactly what you said,
Yep.
man. There was a point where that stock dipped from the high 700s
Yeah.
all the way down to the low 600s,
Yes,
right?
sir.
But when we got to the 600, we ended up coming right back up. We're at 665 now, and you would get the news. Meta ended up moving up to the upside once people saw that they cut their metaverse spending, right? So Meta said, okay, we're going to stop spending as much on the metaverse, and we're going to put more money into AI, like he said,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And that caused people to see, as me thinking an investor, I see, okay, this stock is down. I've been investing to it all year. I may be down, but I know this is an opportunity for me to buy even more because
Yes,
I know Meta is still a real big company, right? A real important company.
What that he just said is in it for the long haul.
Is
You
in it
know
for
what I
the
mean?
long haul.
So,
Yeah.
if
Those are the
anything,
type
yeah.
of companies you want to
Yeah.
grab, right? So,
Yeah.
100%.
yeah, Meta. This is why this interview has been meant a lot to me, and just interviewing you and listening to you speak, that's why I've been quiet a lot of the time because Meta is grown to be my favorite company, right?
Mhm.
And something just coding and just software this year
Yep.
has become something that I've also been getting into as
I'm
well.
glad.
So,
Yeah.
to be around somebody like you here, man, and just the mindset really is all about what I preach, is being a go-getter, right?
Appreciate it,
Really getting to it by any means and creating that life for yourself and
Yes,
putting it
sir.
all on the line like you have. Yeah, man, it's been definitely a pleasure.
No,
Definitely.
thank you, man.
Seriously,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I
Thank
appreciate
you
you
so
guys.
much. I'm
For
not
real.
joking. Like, I hope that we can stay connected, man.
For sure,
Well,
dude.
so can you tell the people, man? What makes you come on the podcast and share like this? And
Yeah.
if you have any socials, can you share them with the people, man?
No, for sure. It's no, that's funny. The thing I really care about at the end of the day is making sure I give people the best chance that they can to achieve what they want. I'm someone who really cares about like teaching people things and pushing people forward. I love just like giving my people advice, or like if someone needs preparation for interviews, I am like there. I'll help you. I'll like do mock interviews, do whatever it takes. Because at the end of the day, I really care about people being the best version of themselves. And what that means is you have to surround yourself by people who are like that, or you have to listen to people who are like that. So honestly, that's why I'm here. It's not just about sharing my story. It's also about like, I hope that this ends up inspiring some people.
Man,
Yeah.
I know it will. I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to
know
tell
it
you. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's so many even more things that we could deep dive into. But I'm just like, man, I just don't overload you on the first one. Man, I have to
No,
have
you're
you
good.
back.
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah,
know
well,
what
I
mean?
mean,
Seriously.
hey, I'm
You know,
down.
especially as things progress for 2026, because
100%.
we talk about AI almost every episode. We talk
Yeah.
about stocks every episode. We talk about meta every episode in some way. We were just talking about those Orion glasses just last week.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because the AR world is coming around and the VR world is coming around. Even you just touching on the fact that you almost just kind of gave financial, I don't want to say financial advice, but it's financial perspective.
Yeah.
Just by even giving context, like, hey, if a company pays 18 billion in taxes and then also spends a bunch of money investing in other parts of their business, sometimes they show a loss.
Sometimes
But
they
if you
show
look
a
at the
loss.
bigger context,
Man, that loss
100%.
Hey.
meant so much to me, man.
Yeah, I was about to
Because
say,
already,
that allows
I
people to
already
get in
believed
at a
meta
low.
so much to the
Okay,
point
yeah.
where I was investing when it was in the high 700s, and I'm like, I know it's gonna
Yeah.
go even further. Even if it does dip. So when I did get that dip, man, I
Yeah,
really
you
did
didn't even
thank
look at it as
God. I was
bad. You
like,
like, man,
I
thank
get
you.
to buy
Yeah.
even more at this.
Yes.
I'm like, I didn't even expect
Yes,
Meta
sir.
to get
So-
this low, and
Yeah.
it got that low. And this actually leads me to my last question. Back
Yeah.
to what you were saying about how you want to inspire people. Now that you've quote unquote made it in many people's eyes, how do you define real success today? And what responsibility do you really feel like to teach and lift others as you continue to grow on your journey? Because you're only 25.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
No, that's a really good question. Success in my eyes is honestly all about discipline. Honestly, because if you have the mental model for being able to be consistent and show up and not give up, in my eyes, you are already successful.
Yes.
You're just waiting on that opportunity to come.
Yes.
Success, I feel like people can define it in many different ways. They're like, oh, it's like this car that I get, or like when I have this money or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, what goals do you have, and how deeply do you care about these goals? Do you really care about them so much that you're willing to do whatever it takes and keep pushing, keep doing it for so long until you get something? If you are like that, then you are already successful.
Yes.
Yeah, just waiting for the opportunity to come your way. That's it.
Yes.
Man, that's beautiful.
Man,
Man.
that is so beautiful. I'm so glad you said that, man. You can't. There's discipline, right? You can't stress it enough. And I really want you guys to really hear this and take it in, because there's no other way around it, right? People can sugarcoat it online. People can make it sound pretty, but really, it really just looks like getting up when you don't want to, putting it in when you don't want to.
100%.
You're back against the wall, and you being the pioneer in your family, and knowing that you're representing everybody, right? It looks hard, it looks difficult, but the
100%.
beauty of success is, you still pushing when it looks hard and
Still.
difficult, and discipline is truly the only way. I'm so glad you touched on that, because you guys have to really put the work in coming 2026. I don't know which
100%.
camera you guys are going to show, but truthfully, there's no other way around it. It's time to, get right with your finances, get right with your prayer life and God, get right with your physicalness, your physique, just really be disciplined and put the work in, because you're not going to get anything waiting on it. And you get everything, like Ahmad said here, by putting the work in and waiting on your time.
100%, man. 100%. So we just want to say thank you again, man. Seriously. Hey, if you like this conversation, if you like anything that's happening up here on the Blueprint Table, man, leave a like, subscribe to us on YouTube, man. Leave a comment. I just want to say thank you again.
No, for sure. Thank you guys for having me
Come
over.
on,
It's
man.
been such a pleasure.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So, man, we're gonna peace out for this one. I just want to say before we close out, man, the Blueprint Table wishes everybody a happy holidays, man.
Sir.
Whatever holiday you celebrating, happy holidays to you, Merry Christmas, and all that good stuff, man. You
Yeah,
already know
man.
what time it is, man. It's your boy B.
It's your boy Fisher Go Getter.
Yeah, it's Ahmed. Thank you guys.
And
Thank you guys so
I
much.
still got one more thing before I head out.
No, go for it. Yeah.
He like
you know,
he looking at
Look,
you.
I really want to emphasize the fact that Ahmed here is an immigrant. We get a lot of immigrants in this country, and what they do here is they get here, they sacrifice, they work the job that's available, they put their ego to the side, and they build a life that we want to build in 5 to 7 years. And I'm saying this to my Americans: we live in a very good opportunity, and I want us to really open up our eyes and put the work in, because sometimes we get comfortable here, and the immigrants get here and they see every opportunity that we don't see, and they use every step to their advantage. And I want us to do the same, because it's inspiring to hear how these immigrants think. It's inspiring to hear how they move, and sometimes it's kind of disappointing hearing how us as Americans think and move, because we have an opportunity. And I want you guys to just put the work in, man. So
100%.
with that being said, episode 19 is a Blueprint Table. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
You already know, man. Peace.